Oh, should be live. What up?
What's going on? Where's Joe Nicely? The
Joe
Iceland.
nicely needed night off. He had some family stuff going on. It happens. It's all right, though. The show must go on. Okay. Oh. Let's get rolling. Let's do this. It's Tuesday night, 9:30 or 9:24 Eastern. I got to go to work in like an hour, so we're good.
I got a handicap college basketball. I think I'd rather go drive a UPS truck.
There you go. Welcome into the Turner Fantasy Golf Podcast. I'm Andrew Putters. I'm here with my friend Tyler Wyatt, childhood friend. You know him as Bet Smart US on the Twitter, handicapper. We're going to talk just a little golf. We're going to talk Rocket Mortgage. We're going to talk last week, closing up an absolute crazy, diabolical finish at the 3M Open. Scott Piercy went from like 4 up to 3 down in like 5 minutes.
Literally the time it took me to make or get a meatloaf ready for the oven, he went from 3 up to 4 down.
Yeah, it's crazy. I used to use the 10-finger grip, by the way, in high school. First day of college, I switched to the interlock.
I used to putt with the 10-finger, and I used to chip a little bit with it, and I was probably a better putter with a 10-finger than I am, well, at any other grip.
You're a pretty terrible putter now. So the claw,
you used to be able to, I used to putt really good and couldn't hit it anywhere. I get up and down. Now I hit it all right and can't putt.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, Tony Finau ends up winning. Played pretty good, honestly, but still surprised that he won. I don't really care about last week. Let's move on to this week. Let's see here. Rocket Mortgage Classic this week. We're kind of shoring up the season, headed into the playoffs. Playoffs start either next week or the week after. I think round 1 this year is at in Memphis. So next week, I think it's Sedgefield, if my memory serves me correct. Yeah, Sedgefield Country Club, FedEx Championship, BMW 125.73. Yep. Next week's the last week. Wyndham Classic, Wyndham Championship at Sedgefield Country Club, Greensboro, North Carolina. Another Don Ross design. So, let's get into it. Rocket Mortgage Classic, Tyler, this weekend, Detroit Golf Club, Don Ross design. It's pretty straightforward. I think you told me it was a composite course. 2 courses become one. Maybe just a few holes from one course. Is that right?
That's right. And according to PGA Tour Golf Superintendents Association, it is now the flattest golf course on tour.
Flattest golf course on tour. I've been to Detroit. You ever been to Detroit?
I have. I went to a wedding there. I don't know, 10 years ago, probably. A good buddy of mine, Wes Sutton, was in your grade, I think, in high school, got married outside of Detroit. I couldn't live there in the winter. Summertime, spring, absolutely. But the fall, I don't want any part of it.
Yeah, we flew in there when I went to Asia. But, 5 years ago, I adopted the Detroit Lions on a whim. And
of all the teams?
Huh?
Out of all the teams, that's
the
one.
That was the one I adopted. Yeah, family. It's a family story. My cousin was a finalist in the NFL 100 drawing. She was up on stage in Nashville at the draft.
Okay.
She got season tickets that year, and her and her husband went to the Super Bowl, which is pretty cool, with Matt Stafford and his wife. So that was pretty cool.
All right, you got a reason.
Yeah. So and it's a 3rd generation deal there. Worked at Ford. Her granddad worked at Ford, and then so like her whole life, or they was watching Detroit on Thanksgiving. Yeah, Thanksgiving, all that stuff. Okay. So that. But yeah, I'm wanting to make a trip up there since we have direct flight out of Knoxville. I would love to go up there and catch maybe a Tigers Lions combo, which actually I think Ford Field's pretty good. From what I hear, going to a ball game there, honestly, even though they've been terrible, but they're on the mend. They're on the mend. They got a pretty good nucleus of players. The coach thing's still up in the air. A lot of people were talking great about him. I know he gets his players to play hard for him.
They do that. He's an odd guy.
Yeah. So this year's interesting. You could see him 3-4 games and being right where they were, which I feel like would be a step down. They win 7-9. I mean, they almost won. They could have won 7 or 8 games last year, and if they would have, I mean, that with the worst roster in the league. And so I don't know. Anyway, let's get on. We're not here to talk about football. We're here to talk about the Rocket Mortgage Classic. We got plenty of NFL coming around the corner. Rocket Mortgage Classic, fourth playing there. 2019, Nate Lashley won the inaugural tournament by 6 strokes, drilling the field. I remember the DeChambeau win in 2020 because he had like 9 top 3 finishes in a row, and coming off of COVID. And I remember texting with Joe because Joe just about took down 6 digits on that. He got a little unlucky on us. I think he might have won this one. Is it the one he came in second or the one he won? I can't remember. Cam Davis won last year, and I loved Cam Davis this week. Loved him last week. You got any thoughts on the golf tournament as a whole? Par 72, 7,400 yards. It's 4 par 5s. There's going to be a lot of birdies. Par 5 scoring is going to be very important. I know you don't normally handicap golf, so you can just give me your golf opinion because I know you know a lot about the sport. You got anything about this that just on the first glance you want to talk about?
You look at the scores that have won it the last 3 years. I mean, you're going to have to shoot 5 or 6 under almost every single day. It's a flat course. There's not a lot of trouble. So anyone I think that bombs it is probably a guy you look at. I don't know that Finau is, ready to maybe win back-to-back weeks, but a guy like Cameron Young, 18-1, he hits it a mile, one of the longest hitters on tour, has a lot of confidence, I think, from, coming off of, I want to say he should have won because it was a brilliant final round there by the other Cam. But I mean, a guy like Cameron Young at almost 20-1 seems like there's a ton of value there. Zalatoris hits it long. These greens aren't very tricky. The back 9 greens are pretty tricky. A lot of undulation. This is, of course, the first 9 you have to attack. The easiest set of holes, at least from a handicapping standpoint, are on the front. It looks like so. I think anyone that hits it long is going to have an advantage here, just because there's not a lot of areas of this golf course that hurt you if you miss it. But the first name that jumps out at me was Cam Young, and that's a lot to do with the fact that he's 18-1. Cantley at 8-1 is the favorite, so it's not it's pretty wide open. It goes from 8 with Cantley to Will Zalatoris at 12, and then you got Homa and Finau at 14-1, at least at DraftKings. But yeah, the initial thought when I looked at it was Cam Young at 18-1. The guy hits it as long as anyone in the field. They're going to have to score. He putts it good enough. Zalatoris might be, he's putted better this year, at least certainly in the last couple of months. That's the only question mark I have with him is, tricky greens, that putting stroke doesn't add up. As a guy that doesn't know, as a guy that can tell you about putting strokes on tricky greens, his stroke is not one that I trust. But yeah, initially Cam Young was a name that jumped out at me.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say that I haven't looked at the number exactly yet, but 2020 was a different type of year. But let's take 19 and 21, throw 2020 out as far as a strength of field. This has got to be the strongest field of those other 2 years. By far, you got Cantlay, Finau, Zalatoris, Young, Max Homa. That's your star-studded front base there. I don't necessarily think that you would have that normally in a tour event here in those other 2 years without looking at the numbers. So, let's get into the slate. And I'm going to start at 9,000 and above. So I'll name off some names here. Kisner, Keegan Bradley, Adam Scott, Cam Davis, Max Homa, Cam Young, Zalatoris, Finau, Cantlay. I know you've talked about a few of these already. Strangely enough, best history on this tournament in this field is Kevin Kisner, even though it's a long course, flat course. He plays well on easy courses though, and we would put this in the box of easy courses, right, Tyler? So
Yeah,
that makes
absolutely.
sense, even though the par fives aren't necessarily his repertoire. But if it's an easy hole, he's gonna play it good. It's the real super difficult iron shot you deal with that maybe he struggles with long term. But any of these putters get hot. Bradley seems to be playing pretty decent. Adam Scott, I don't like him here. Not with this firepower. Max Homa, the course might be a little too easy for him, honestly, to separate himself from the field. We like Cantlay on easy courses. We like Finau on easy courses. We like Zalatoris on any course with a par five on it. Cam Young, any course with a par five. Cam Davis is a defending champion stud. Where are you at here in these? I named off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players. Who would you? I'm just gonna say this. Who would you red light and green light in those 7 players?
I'm gonna green light my guy Cam Young. In that price range, compared to the guys that you mentioned, Zalatoris would be the one I would red light, just because I think from a putting standpoint, I don't trust him on Donald Ross undulating greens, flat greens. Zalatoris all the way. But on a course like this, even though you're going to be able to, he hits it long enough. What is he, top 15 in driving distance probably?
Probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna red light Zalatoris and stick with my guy Cam Young. I think Cam Young in that price range is the guy I'm going with.
Yeah, Cam Young is a stud human being. He's just fun to watch play golf. I mean, it's just all there is to it. It's like you want to watch him hit every shot. Moving on to the 8K range, Tyler, Hubbard, Woodland, Henley, Simpson, Hadwin, Tringale, Davis Riley, disappointing last week. Thigala, who I think I read that this was his second tour start was here, so he loves this place. Maverick McNeely, Denny McCarthy. Once again, I said this is a weaker field than normal, stronger than normal for this tournament. We historically love Maverick McNeely on easier field tournaments. He's got a tied 8th, tied 21st. I don't really know if I want to look at him here. I like him in this group. He had a bogey the last hole. He's on a reachable par 5. Needed a birdie the last hole to finish top 20 last week and went bogey quadruple, made a 9. I think he dunked 2 in the lake on 18 there. So, but Hubbard, Woodland, Henley, Simpson, Hadwin, Tringale, Riley, Thigala, McNeely, McCarthy. You red light and green light and anybody here?
Green light Gary Woodland. 3 top 8 finishes on the year. Hits it a mile. When he switched to Wilson, I was wondering why he made that switch from Callaway, and I thought that would set him back. He's played, as good or better golf since the switch. I guess you could say he won more tournaments prior to the switch, but I think he's a guy that you look at. He just kind of gets it in the hole. He hits it long. He has a tendency to struggle at times with accuracy, but again, it's not a course that you have to be extremely accurate, at least with the driver off the tee. Guy that I would, Thigala maybe. I don't know if the pressure of coming down to the FedEx Cup is a thought of his. He would be the only one maybe, but not anyone there that jumps out as just being a guy that I'm avoiding. But I love Gary Woodland there.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that players thrive on easy courses or hard courses, or maybe they separate themselves from the field. Interesting enough, Tringale has the second strongest tournament history here, tied 5th, tied 30th, tied 14th. And that makes a lot of sense. Par 5 scoring is good, hits it long and straight off the tee, can get it going with the putter at times. Doesn't necessarily have great success on hard, really, really difficult tracks. So that makes a lot of sense. I like him this week just from an ownership standpoint I got to think that Woodland's going to get some love. I got to think that Hadwin, Henley, Davis, especially with McNeely, Thigala, and Riley are going to get a lot of ownership. So maybe some people might just skim right over Tringali. I know Denny McCarthy's having a great year. I just don't trust his ball striking. It's not great. So he has to putt super good to have a shot to win this. And Mark Hubbard seems way overpriced. I mean, he's temporary. He's got like half status on tour, plays on both tours, but he's played good here the last month and a half. I don't.
Did he Monday qualify like a month ago? To get in?
Feel like maybe, and then he was. So he had a tie 12th here in 2020, which has been, like we said before, the most difficult field. Missed the cut last year, but he missed every cut last year. So, but I mean, I can pull him up his history right here.
Gary Woodland 5th on tour and Eagles made 1 out of every 94, 95 holes. This is a course you can attack with par fives. Not that necessarily makes a difference coming down in win or loss, but
yeah, par five scoring is gonna matter big time. I mean, birdie or better, that's gonna be huge. And actually, I could see your C going a little light here because the 7K range is probably pretty strong. I'm going to probably green light Tringali here just from the ownership standpoint, and red light Webb Simpson. He's literally dropped off the face of the earth when it comes to competitive edge. 2020 it was right there. Probably playing a ton of golf in 2020. We know his home situation with a bunch of kids. I know that for a fact. I've got 4. I think he's got 6. You can't tell me that whenever he's at home, he's hitting balls for 8 hours or playing 36 holes. So, that's an advantage outside the ropes that you got to think about, mental state. And Webb Simpson is, I would say, failed with consistency 4 rounds in a row. 18 holes a day, 4 rounds a hole. He's failed with consistency there. We're at one time, 2018 or 1920, we were talking about he was the top 5 player in the world. So, Webb Simpson, I'm definitely a big X on. I'm not a big fan of Adam Hadwin overall, as far as reliability anyway. Great talent, great player, and he beats me when he plays well. I don't do well. So, and I'm still trying to figure out Davis Riley. Seems like he's like plays better than average or worse than average. So, and he's young, but he's going to be there for a long time. So I guess here I'm liking McNeely, I'm liking Henley, and I'm liking Tringali. But I do like Woodland's. I like the storyline with Woodland. What worries me with him is when we start looking at these 4-footers for par and birdie, and he 4-putts it. If we can dodge that one 4-putt that we see, or 3-putt from 2 feet that we see all the time, I think he'll be right up there, top 10. I like the look.
You mentioned Davis Riley, top guy that's top 16 in birdie average, top 50 in driving distance, hits it long enough. Hits it relatively accurate, even though we talked about how that didn't matter. He's outside of Woodland. I don't dislike Davis Riley. I think I'm just having a trust issue with him, trying to figure him out, because I love him every week, just to be honest with you. So yeah, putting might be the issue there. He's kind of middle of the road, I guess, as a putter, top 80 guy.
Yeah. 7K range. Oh, obviously every week in, week out, the juiciest range all week. And this is what makes and breaks your lineups. You got to fit 3 of these guys probably in there, and they've got to be successful. A lot of talent here in the 7K range, without naming a whole bunch. Surprisingly, one in the 7K range. Let me count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 of these golfers in 7K range have never played in a tournament here. That's interesting. Because there's some names here, right?
Local guy.
Well, I'm saying Siwoo Kim. If I go down through these names, just say the people that haven't played here. Obviously, the new guy, Tom Kim, Kuchar's never played here. Pendrith's never played here. Vegas has never played here. Smiley's never played here. Goddard Up, Ryan Palmer's never played here. Nick Hardy's never played here. Grayson Sigg, that amateur Thorborn, whatever his name is. He's never played here. What's the Taryn? What's his first name? Carol Taryn. He's never played here.
CT.
Yeah. Matthias Schwab's never played here.
I already have the green light for me.
Okay. Smotherland's never played here. So that's the guys that's never played here. But I love this 7. I love so much. I love a lot about this. And I even love people that haven't had success here. So obviously we know Stallings is trending up this year. He's having a great year. He's like 40 something on the points list. He's made the cut here all 3 years. Oh yeah, I still like him, man. He's par 5 scoring.
Last 3 tournaments here, he went T64 to 39. Last year, top 25. So each year he's played the course a little bit better.
Yeah.
Don
Ross. Don Ross. He plays good on Don Ross. Number 1.
Absolutely.
Big greens.
If he follows his trend for the last 3 years, he's due for a top 15, top 10 finish.
There you go. And I know he's in a good headspace. Hung out with him a couple weeks ago. He's in a good headspace. Loving life.
Did you mention Grayson Sigg?
I mean, he's never played here. I love Grayson Sigg. We love Georgia.
Really
yeah. Played well last week, right?
Coming off top 10 finish, 7th or 8th.
Yeah.
He had a rough stretch earlier in the year, missed 5 cuts, but his last 4, he's finished top 27 or better in all 4. Familiarity with the course on this type of layout, on this type of course where you just have to go low. I think I don't want to say it's not important, but maybe you can look past it with some guys just because it's not, there isn't a whole lot of local knowledge. It's not Augusta. You don't have to know the intricacies of the green or where to miss it on holes. This one, it's tee it up, don't hit it out of bounds, and then just go find your ball and go. It's no disrespect to the Detroit Country Club, but
I mean most Don Rosses are like that.
Yeah, you can get in trouble and still get to the green. He's not. All greens are going to be accessible. There's going to be rough here. Those guys see that it's not U.S. Open rough. It's typical tour rough. I don't think I haven't looked at the weather today, but I don't think they're expecting anything crazy over the week. So maybe Grayson Sigg just because he's not played the course, but he's in as far as recent form.
Yeah, I love about every rookie on tour right now. So I love Grayson Sigg. He won in Knoxville 2 years ago in the Knoxville Visit Knoxville Open. Love him. SEC boy. We love the Georgia. If they play college at Georgia, we like them. Also on this show, I'm gonna throw a name out here, a guy that I absolutely love every week, and this week makes so much sense. This guy's 134 in strokes gained putting, 99th in strokes gained around the green in this field. He is 64th on the FedEx Cup points. He is 52nd on the DraftKings list for strokes gained. DraftKings points list for this field. 7,400 rookie Alex Smiley, however you say his name. I love him every week too. He bombs it off the tee. He is, like I said, he's 134th in putting this year, and he's 64th on the FedEx Cup points as a rookie. You kidding me? I love him.
It's a recipe for success. What's his price?
74, maybe 74, 75.
I don't hate that. Guy like, I don't know how you say it. Michael, is it Glick?
Where's he at?
In the 7,000 range.
Gillick, yeah.
Straight top 40s, top 10 at John Deere, top 10 ball striker, and I don't know where he is in putting. Finished top for 41 last year and then missed the cut in 2020. So not a fantastic track record, but he's playing really good since withdrawing at the Canadian Open.
Yeah. Anybody hits it far, we're gonna like. So we can just go ahead and
yes.
say that. And we also need to see somebody that could possibly get hot with the putter. So we're looking at birdies are better, Obviously, Patrick Rogers makes a lot of sense in this range.
Top 30.
Goddard up is obviously everybody's talking about him still. He's probably still the talent's huge, but I think he's the hot name, right? So everybody's talking about him every week. He's played well, but he just you got to get that consistency on tour. Yeah, but he
posted a video of him on the range earlier talking about it. Just sounds different.
Yeah, he bombs it, man. It's so good. He's a good player.
But I like Goddard up. You mentioned Patrick Rogers, number 1 on tour in Eagles per.
Oh yeah, he's a birdie machine. Puts it good, hits the driver well. That's what we love. Hits it far.
Doesn't hit it straight.
No, not at all.
But you don't have to hit it straight here. Doesn't matter if you hit half your fairways, as long as you're 330 yards off the tee, it's fine at Detroit Country Club.
Yeah, exactly. 6K range. This is where the darts start coming into play, and we got to just find people that has a chance to make a move. Right. I do know that I've seen a huge value move on social media as far as I just looking at different posts and people posting JJ Spawn at 6,900. He's got a T13, T30, T32 here. He's pretty cheap. The course is pretty easy, so if you hit a lot of fairways and greens, he shoots 3 or 4 under every day, without even trying. That the Sepp Straka, he's fallen off quite a bit on the recent form. However, a T11th, T8th here. I think he was pretty important to Joe's move in the T8th in 2020. Nick Taylor last week, 6,700 this week. Last week, he bogeyed 5 holes in a row to close to miss the cut by 2. It was pretty sickening. Not a ton to love down here good big names, but not really with the 7K range being so. My wife's trying to find her phone. With the 7K range being so strong, this range doesn't do much for me down here. Anybody that sticks out on the on look under 7,000 that you're going to be like, we got to take this guy.
Hayden Buckley?
Yeah, he finished like 4th last year or something, didn't he? Maybe. Buckley.
Where's his exact price? I know he's a 6K guy somewhere.
69. No, he's never played here. It was Libiota that played well here last year, I think.
Hayden Buckley, 6,900?
Yeah. He's a good player.
14th at the U.S. Open, 2 top 30 since then. We kind of stressed you don't have to be a great ball striker here, but the guy's a machine.
Another local guy, Mount Audi finished like 11th last week. He plays well on easy golf courses. He plays really well.
Played great last week.
Yeah, plays very good on easy golf courses. So I don't hate him being down there in the 6Ks.
Cameron Percy, 6,500. 4th in strokes gained on par 5s.
He's about a lock. He's an absolute lock to make the cut on easy golf courses. He's just steady Eddie, man.
A guy that I used to hate and have kind of warmed up to, Sabatini. He's 3rd in strokes gained on Donald Ross design courses.
Yeah, he got T3 here back in 19. I was hard up on him at TPC in Maryland, Avenel. And he was like top 5 going. He's like 6,400 and he was like in 5th place going in the final round and finished like 48th. I was like, oh man, I missed out on this.
My concern with a guy like Sabatini is, what's his ceiling? Top 15, top 20? Do you think do you feel like a guy like Sabatini is going to win?
I would be more worried about where his floor is.
Exactly. There's some value because he has played Donald Ross design course as well, but the guy could shoot 75, 73, or he could shoot 68, 68 and, have a solid week.
Yeah. And if he's around the cut, a little above the cut line, he's going to play in about 2 hours and a half coming in.
You mentioned Hadley, right?
No, I didn't say anything about Chelsea. No.
6,900, 3 top 10s in his last 5 starts. Tied for 52 and then 2 missed cuts in the last 3 years. Doesn't have a great track record here, but he's played well the last 5
Yeah, he's
times.
played it. He's been hot with the putter. You know, I like Nate Lashley, honestly, but he's been playing so poorly recently. But we know that he can make a ton of birdies. So that's why he likes this course. So we have this thing. Who's that? Oh, well, he's had a rough year. I'll say this. I like Bo Hostler. He hits it far off the tee, puts it great, around the green great. If he can hit it on the golf course, he's a pretty good player.
Really, yeah, rough year. Better form of late. 4 top 40s in his last 6 starts. Finished 5th at Barbasol. But yeah, there's I don't know. There's a lot of risk that goes with taking Whaley's.
Yeah, I like Johnny Huh too. He plays good on easy courses. He hits it good. So we do this thing here at the end of the show, Tyler, that we pick a dart play, which is obviously like a long shot. You know, you throw $5 on it and maybe win 1,000 or so. Who's a long shot this week you like that has a chance to win?
Cameron Champ, 75 to 1.
That's dart enough.
Dark enough. I was gonna say, how dark we have to be. We got to be at the beach for 2 weeks, tan, or we got to be like me sitting on the couch because you just had knee surgery, white.
Yeah, I like
Champ 75 to 1. You mentioned Smiley 80 to 1. I mean, those are 2 guys. Champ's form doesn't do a whole lot. It's at 9 miles. Patrick Rogers 80 to 1.
That was probably Smiley's my my long shot, I would say. I don't even know what his odds are. You said 80 to 1, but he's 7,400. That's the guy this week I love. If we can just keep the putter if we can just have an average putting week, I like it.
Trying to find a bomber in the 2.
Bovada's got Patrick Rogers at 90 to 1. Ooh, there he is.
Harry Higgs 400 to 1.
No, thank you.
No. Tommy Two Gloves 500 to 1.
Okay, so Smiley's 80 to 1. Yeah. And you said Champ.
Scott Piercy 200 to 1. Is his
blister better? He's done.
He's done.
He's done. He is done, buddy. So now we have this next phase of our show, Tyler, as we do what we would call our heart play of the week. This is the guy that we think is going to win. I feel like I know who you're going to say already, so go ahead.
I'm going with my guy, Cam Young. Probably because I've been talking baseball for the last hour. Got the MLB sponsorship on the side of the shirt. He hits it miles. 18 to 1. You know, I think that's overpriced. I'm going to be honest. Maybe that's just recency bias, but I feel like he should be in there in that 12 or 10 to 12 range with Zalatoris and maybe in between Cantley and ZT. But I'm going Cam Young. I think a win here. Does it drastically change his season? Maybe, yeah, but it's a guy that I think, in the next 10 years, you're going to hear Cam Young's name a lot, and that, a win here could catapult him into, a deep run in the FedEx Cup. But as far as just the overall game that fits, it fits this course pretty well. I'm going Young.
So I want to say Cam Champ just because I love where his game is and where his future is coming. But obviously being the defending champ, I don't think that's going to necessarily bode too well. He's or I said Cam Champ. Cam Davis. Cam Davis. He's 35 to 1. His true odds I've got it at 52.5 to 1. He's at 9,700 on DraftKings. and he's the 6th most expensive player. What's that?
Was he drinking out of the claret jug all week with the other Aussies?
No, I mean he played last week.
Okay.
Top 10, top 20, something like that.
Didn't know if he,
Yeah. And I'm gonna kind of take a line that's kind of weird here. We've been off of him for a long time. When things are going good, they're real good with him. This golf course is easy. It's got a ton of par fives. It's flat. It's wide open. Tony Finau wins again, bud.
I like Tony Finau. I mean, you go from the big break to where he is now. You kind of watched him grow. I haven't heard anyone say anything bad about the guy in his entire life. I mean,
you didn't see the deal where his financial backer sued him for like millions of dollars? Oh yeah. This guy that took care of it apparently gave him a bunch of money back in the day to try to make it.
Okay, well,
suing him for.
I've heard one thing bad about Tony Finau.
There you go.
It wouldn't surprise me at all if Tony Finau wins, though. You nailed it. Of course, it sets him up. It sets up with his game about as well as anyone on there. It's why he's in that top 5 or 6 guys, at least from odds makers standpoints. Back to back would go a long way here in I guess 2 weeks.
Yeah,
we started with FedEx Cup.
Yeah, started off slow. Seems to be getting the game back. Played well. Like I said, a lot of confidence coming in this week. When it's good, things are going good for Tony. They're going real good. This golf course makes a lot of sense for him. Love Tony Finau this week. You can find him at maybe 15-1 on Bovada, 14-1 at DraftKings. He's 10-6 on DraftKings price point for fantasy. That's my guy this week. So Tyler, thanks for coming on. If you want more PGA premium information, log on to the rotoballer.com. Use the promo code the turn when signing up. Get you a little discount off the premium membership. We've got tons of stuff over there as far as course breakdown, Vegas report, how to make your dollar go a long way with betting. Joe does a great job breaking down all kinds of different stuff with Core 4 and the horse from the course. We've got Rob does the pivot stuff where you're trying to, if you're thinking of one player, but the ownership might be too high going in the week. And plus, I mean, just it's a great group of guys. I think the most collective golf stuff together in one place that you can get for the price. I'm sure I'm leaving some.
Trust you. There's a reason I trust you with my money.
There you go. Thanks, Tyler, again for coming on. Joe, we'll get back here next week for the Wyndham Championship. I'm Andrew Putters. Thank you, rotoballer.com, for everything you do. You have listened to the Turn Fantasy Golf Podcast.